Jason Lee Podcast.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of the Jason Lee Podcast. Oh, it feels good to be back. It's been 3 weeks. How do I know? Because you guys are telling me in the streets, which means we're doing something right. Okay, I'm running the city. We have the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards back. What is today? Wait. Anyway, when will this air? On Monday?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's this Friday. But not this Friday because today is actually Friday. We're filming this on Friday. But anyway, it will be this Friday, June 20th. Finally, the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards is back for its 5th year. I'm so excited. We already put out one announcement. We showed that Keke Palmer, Don Lemon, and some other guests are being honored. I'm so excited that Fantasia and Yolanda Adams will be there. And other people, Tiffany Haddish is back hosting, and it's going to be on the Zeus Network. You can follow Hollywood Unlocked, follow me, you can follow Rob, you can follow us all to find out what's going on. This year, it's going to be benefiting the Hollywood Cares Foundation, which is the nonprofit that I have and I'm on the board for, that's doing a lot of amazing work with young people. And now this is going to be the first year that all tickets, table proceeds go towards helping those kids, which is great. Rob has been producing it all pretty much by himself. But see, the thing about doing it by yourself is something's going to go wrong and it's going to be your fault. I'm about spreading the liability, but so far it's coming together.
Yeah, coming together. And you, Babyface is also the music director for the night. It's going to be a big night.
Babyface is our music director, which Babyface, I have to say, is a phenomenal person who I've built a friendship with, him and Rika. Shout out to them. Now, I'm really excited about it because this is the one year where we get to celebrate the culture and everything that we've been doing and building as a company and as a team. And given what's happening in the world, I think right now it's just more important to remind people about our importance of using our voices, controlling our narratives, getting civically engaged. Before I even go any further, I want to just tell you, there was one person I wanted to honor this year that wasn't available, and they tried to do everything they could to be here and even called me and had a conversation about it, and that was Tyler Perry. And Rob was there when Tyler and I talked on the phone. And, I have to say, over the years, I've been one to have criticism of everybody, and I've had a lot to say about everybody. But everybody that knows me knows when I lived in Burbank in this little studio apartment, I used to watch Medea films over and over and over, the plays over and over and over and over. And so it's really full circle when you know Tyler's story. And now when you look at what he's been able to do, amassing so much success and money and still pouring back into people and helping people. So we really wanted to honor him, and he was honored. So we're going to try to get Tyler Perry next year, right? Mm-hmm. Because Tyler's one who is deserving. All right. What's new in your life?
Well, the puppy is massive now. So she's still a puppy, only 6 months, but Dolce is huge, thanks to you. I have a massive boxer puppy to deal with every day, but I love her. My baby.
This dog is dumb.
Not dumb.
This dog is dumb. She don't know how to walk upstairs. He drags her up. This is how I know she's in the house, because he's dragging her up the stairs and she's clumsily hitting every bone on every step.
She's 6 months old. She's a baby still. She's just a big baby.
That dog needs Adderall. I'm telling you right now. If there's doggy Adderall, that dog needs it. Okay, so you're in dog. I'm just trying to make sure that all of my businesses keep afloat. I mean, while you're running a city, I guess I'm learning that I'm more involved than ever. There was a comment made this past weekend at a District 6 meeting that I had for my community, where one of the staff persons says that I'm really involved in all the details and I'm very, very active, which is basically I'm doing too much. But here's the deal. My district has been neglected for so long. My city's been neglected for so long that they need to have somebody that they know cares and that is actually involved. So I'm doing the real work. And yes, it is a lot. It's a huge sacrifice. You're having an award show, a talk show, a podcast, a company, a nonprofit, and running a city. Why did I decide to do all that? More importantly, why did y'all let me?
Hey, nobody can talk you off that ledge.
Damn right. But anyway, I'm glad that we're back, and I'll try not to be gone for so long. I do have some vacation coming up because I do have to travel, but we have the award show this week. Again, this time you can buy tickets, you can sponsor tables. I really encourage you all to be there, and if you do show up, you'll be helping a good cause. All right. Well, there's a lot going on in the news, and look, I'm not going to go back 3 weeks. We've missed the Remy and Papoose, so y'all got away on that one. Although I did talk to Remy, and I do have an update on Papoose and Clarissa because I ran into them at the BET Awards. But yeah, there's things that I'm not going to cover because I've been gone. However, we are going to get to the tea with Jason Lee right now. Well, let's tell you what's happening right here in LA. But not only is it in LA, these two have been fighting that's impacting the whole world if it comes to social media. But outside of that, there's a lot going on around the world and right here in LA related to ICE. So Donald Trump and Elon, as Rob would say, the girls are fighting. These two, there was no way that Elon Musk and Donald Trump, both who are some of the biggest narcissistic people in the world, were going to be able to coexist for too long. So the Donald Trump administration now is in shambles. Not only is Trump trying to lock up California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass amid the ICE protests, but Trump has also been beefing with Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and being pushed to deport him to South Africa. He wants him to go back to his country. Now, let's just get into that first. I will tell you, as somebody who ran for office, who put money behind other people, maybe 50,000 or 30, whatever, it's one thing when you get betrayed with that. Mm-hmm. And I have felt my own feelings that some of the people that I have gotten behind, we may be in different places, but it's okay because when it comes to some policies, you're not going to always agree. That's one thing. But the fundamental deconstruction of DEI or the fundamental redirection of Social Security and all the other things that these people are doing, those type of things get a little dicey. At the end of May, Elon left the White House as his government contract with Doge or whatever he had going on was it ended. After Elon left the White House, he turned against Trump and attacked his one big beautiful bill and tweeted, "America is in the fast lane to debt slavery." Don't talk about slavery. Trump fired back and gave insight as to why they fell out. Take a look. He posted it saying, "Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it." Do you believe that?
Which the EV portion?
Yeah.
I think that was a part of Elon's blow up. Yeah, I absolutely think that was leading up to it. But they have been the girls have been fighting in the White House before that. Elon had a black eye. He was having his alleged ketamine, shakes in the in the Oval Office. So we knew that there was trouble brewing. But I think that was part of it.
But why throw Biden's name in? I feel like Biden's name is going to always be thrown in. I never heard Obama talking about the previous administration. Why?
Because that's the only way they can exist is by speaking about what Biden did or didn't do or flipping the narrative to take attention away from what he is doing, which is destroying the country.
And listen, a lot of you, let's be honest, you don't even care about what I'm talking about because you're too busy chasing Pokemon, playing Grand Theft Auto, watching the baddies. No shade, let me know. You guys don't care that the world is literally crumbling. In my opinion. I mean, the world will still be here, but it's not going to be the world that we know. Okay? Now, in a not so shocking but shocking turn of events, Elon Musk essentially confirmed allegations of election interference.
Allegedly.
After he claimed Trump wouldn't have won the 2024 election without his help. Take a look. "Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate." How does he think he helped him? The money?
Well, there's
besides the fact that they all probably manipulated social media and changed social behavior.
Well, no, there's the clip that is everywhere of Trump at a rally saying, "Oh, Elon came in to Pennsylvania. He's really good with the machine. He knows the voting machine. We won big." So
I saw that, but is that him alleging that Elon cheated?
Yeah, I think that's the speculation behind that tweet as well. So I think that people are putting those two together for sure.
Now, look, I don't want to be messy, and I know I get blamed for being messy all the time, and it's never fair. I just have an opinion. This is like two gay boys in West Hollywood, right? Like, this is what the gays do. This is literally how Petty, JR, Mike, Rob, all our gay friends who are in a group chat, this is Desmond.
Oh, God.
This is how you all behave. Okay, well, Elon pulled a Drake and went back to back and said Trump is the Jeffrey Epstein, or he's in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Take a look. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. So I went to my Twitter and I said, or my X account, and I said, is Elon now Judas or is he our savior? What do you think?
Well, I think if Elon was privy to all this information and still pushed this man to be in the position of power, then who's the real problem?
Well, Elon even agreed with a fan who said Trump should have been impeached and Vice President J.D. Vance should replace him. Can you imagine J.D. Vance as the president?
I guess he hasn't stood on any opinion that's his own so far.
Meanwhile, Elon reportedly lost about, a little change, $34 billion in net worth in the first few hours of his beef with Trump. Then former Trump advisor Steve Bannon told Trump he should investigate Elon's alleged drug use and then seize SpaceX and deport him. Yo, y'all are ghetto. What in the white privilege delusion is going on? Just take his company and deport him?
It's Love and Politics DC. It is really he really is turning the White House into a reality show.
But who can stop him at this point? Anybody? Because
No.
Congress isn't doing anything.
No.
But don't you think this is going to make the Republicans lose bad?
Yes, they already are starting to. They're
Really?
losing all the small elections across the country, like all the local elections. They're absolutely losing. Even in like areas where they're like heavy red, they're still losing. So this is it's not working for them.
Elon was, I'm going to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Regularly, they're saying allegedly, he was regularly abusing ketamine, Adderall, ecstasy, and psychedelic mushrooms on the campaign trail. Now, Elon seemingly wants to make up with Trump after all of that, regretting all of what he said before. Take a look. I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far. Is it me or do you think this is a distraction because something else is happening?
Well, no, I think that the distraction is what's actually happening right now, but we'll get into that because I think that's the distraction from the Epstein conversation because that fire started to like heat up a little bit and then they got doused out real quick by everything in LA. So I think that this is the distraction what's going on here.
Putting Trump and Elon's beef on the back burner, Trump's issues with California's Governor Gavin Newsom, just like Rob was alluding to, and LA Mayor Karen Bass spills over. Following intense immigration raids in LA, protesters took to the streets for friendly demonstrations against ICE, but in the midst, there have been violent rioters intruding. Now, we know, if you look at the history of riots here in Los Angeles, when it's dealt with race or any other issue, they tear the city up. People that know a riot is coming, they will go and board up their windows. They will vacate their jobs or their employment because they know that chaos is getting ready to ensue. Well, the chaos led Trump to deploy over 2,000 National Guard soldiers and 700 Marines on U.S. soil right here in L.A. to de-escalate the protests and more violent demonstrators. Well, that did nothing but exacerbate another bigger problem. It's the conversation of whether or not U.S. troops should be deployed against its own people. When we know the military, and Mayor Bass has done a great job on the news talking about this, the military is created to defend us from foreign enemies, not sending them over to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles to get all the cooks. That's not what they're supposed to be for. And this is the thing that bothers me. Americans are so apathetic with everything right now that we're literally sitting idly by watching our country turn into one of those countries where we have no rights. Okay? Now, Trump is claiming that people here in Los Angeles are physically attacking ICE agents and soldiers and destroying property. Now, Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass both claim to have a hold on the city and the state and push back against Trump, sending troops to attack and shoot friendly protesters. Now, after they tried to intervene, Trump threatened to have them both arrested and thrown in jail. Now, in what world in the United States do we threaten political opposites or whatever, people who oppose our politics? How do we threaten to put them in jail? Isn't that what you hear in countries where there's no democracy?
Absolutely.
Now, we've seen Congresswoman Maxine Waters get denied access to buildings, denied access to go and observe people. One of the presidents of SEIU, one of the largest labor unions in the world, was arrested and detained by ICE. She tried to go in and check on him, was denied. We saw another senator recently here in California get thrown out by the federal government. This is turning into a different country. This is something that we never thought we would see, but we knew when y'all elected him that this was going to happen. Okay, now Trump has threatened to arrest and charge the two with federal charges for interfering. And Gavin told Trump and his border czar, Tom Homan, arrest me. Let's go. Take a listen.
Homan, the border czar, said to me yesterday he did not rule out literally arresting you, nor Mayor Bass, if you interfere in his words. He said you hadn't yet.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Let your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Let your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting.
What do you think?
It's frustrating when you see the federal government intervening on a state level when, you know, their entire campaign promise or the thing they campaign on was like moving everything back to the states, right? And then for them to intervene in peaceful protests and send the National Guard when Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass did not request for any help because it was under control. And then you have the National Guard come in and you're seeing reporters being shot with rubber bullets. You're seeing reporters be detained and pulled out of the protest so that they can't report on it. That's crazy. That's the kind of stuff you see in countries that are run by dictators. Like not allowing the press to freely be in the space. Like press go into war zones, and to remove them from a peaceful protest so they couldn't actually show what was going on is crazy to me. And then the fact that we're so polarized with our views, like Republicans and Democrats alike, that we're allowing this to happen because we're not stepping back and going, okay, this is absolutely wrong, and we need to rein this in before we lose our country. It needs to happen.
But why are people so apathetic?
I don't know. I think on the other side of the conversation, I think people are so polarized by conversations like immigrants are taking everything from you, or trans people are taking everything
kids.
from you. Exactly. They're so polarized by that they're allowing these people to take everything away from them, including stripping Medicaid. There's so many people who support this man who are going to lose their access to healthcare. They're going to lose their access to their SNAP benefits. They're going to lose their access to, their housing benefits. They're losing all of this stuff, but they're losing sight of it because they're so invested in this man. And they're so invested in the idea that the enemy is within. The enemy is immigrants or trans people or people of color who want fair opportunity. They're so blinded by that they're not seeing what's actually happening to them.
Well, then the pot met the kettle when Trump, who encouraged insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021, which he freed them folks, continued to attack Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass and warned that if any insurrection in LA, if there is one, his administration would get involved because they're not playing around with an insurrection. Take a listen.
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see. But I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs, pounding it, breaking up and handing these big chunks of concrete to people. And they were taking that concrete, going up on bridges and dropping it into the roof of a car. They were throwing it at our police. They were throwing it at our soldiers that are there. And we got it stopped, and we have them in custody right now. Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire, and we have it in great shape. We're not playing around.
How will you determine whether or not there is an insurrection?
Well, you'll take a look at what's happening. I mean, I could tell you there were certain areas of Los Angeles that you could have called it an insurrection. It was terrible. But these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They get money. And when you take a look at what they do, where they show up and everyone's saying, what's he doing? He's pounding the curbs. This one guy's pounding the curb, breaking the curb, and handing big pieces of granite. In some cases, it's granite and concrete to other people. And they're running out with it. And then we watch the other people, and they try and throw it into the face of the soldiers, throw it into the face of the police, and they hurt some people very badly. They go up on bridges, they drop it down on the cars as the cars are moving. They're not breaking the curb because they're doing a demolition service. They're breaking it to hand out to people as a weapon. It's bad stuff. I've never seen that before.
Well, Gavin replied to Trump's insurrection comments and clapped back with this tweet. Take a look. The only people defending insurrectionists are you, Donald Trump, or are we pretending like you didn't pardon 1,500 of them? There has to be a gay person writing the tweets in Gavin Newsom's office because the clapback was, right?
It was great. It was great.
Bitch, you tried it.
LA Mayor Karen Bass has also issued an 8 p.m. curfew in downtown Los Angeles. Let me tell you, my friends who live downtown are not happy. They boarded up all the windows, and I asked them today, why does everybody go downtown for the protest? Like, these were people probably from Pasadena, Glendale, Burbank. Why downtown? I don't know. But now if you live downtown, you can't come outside after 8 o'clock or you could be arrested now. Elsewhere, Latinas for Trump co-founder and Florida Senator Ileana Garcia said, this is not what we voted for. Take a look. I stand with Congresswoman Salazar as the state senator who represents her district and the daughter of Cuban refugees who are now just as American, if not more than Stephen Miller. I am deeply disappointed by these actions and I will not stand down. I want to put myself on record. This is not what we voted for. I have always supported Trump through thick and thin. However, this is unacceptable and inhumane. I understand the importance of deporting criminal aliens, but what we are witnessing are arbitrary measures to hunt down people who are complying with their immigration hearings, in many cases with incredible fear or persecution claims, all driven by a Miller-like desire to satisfy a self-fabricated deportation goal. This undermines a sense of fairness and justice that the American people value. Well, you got what you asked for, girl. Sorry, but not sorry. Why do people want us to come and rescue them now that they created this issue?
Yeah, we talked about this a lot as well. There's so many groups of people who like quite often lead with anti-black sentiment. Like they don't want to associate themselves with black people. But then when the tables turn, now they're brown people and they want other brown people to come save them. And we've been having this conversation. We said it loud the entire time. Kamala Harris kept saying it loud the entire time. This man is not just going after criminals. He's not going after criminals. He's going after brown people. And now he's going after brown people and they're saying, we didn't know you were going to go after brown people.
Listen,
we told y'all.
The fact that they're rating graduations and taking parents and their kids away from each other is just insane. And it's not America. Well, Texas Congresswoman and friend to the show, Jasmine Crockett, commented on Trump and the ICE protest while speaking with us at the BET Awards. Take a look. I just said the Congresswoman was on the carpet. There she goes. Let me go get her. I get her.
Hello, how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Really quickly, gotta get the elephant in the room. We know a lot's going on just outside of these walls in regards to these ICE raids and the protests. Talk to us about that, again, happening right on the other side of the stadium.
Yeah, no, literally, I just got done talking about that. And the thing that I said is that here is the reality. There's only one color that matters to this administration, and that color is green. And so the rest of us need to unite and we need to fight. We need to make sure that we understand that our fates are tied. Listen, they may be coming for our brown brothers and sisters right now, but please believe somebody that looks like me is actually probably top of their list. And so we can't just turn our backs. We have to understand that our fates are tied and we have to fight for what's right. This past election, a lot of people didn't care about who got hurt. Now they realize the only people that are getting hurt are the people that don't have enough money in their bank accounts. And so I hope and I pray that we are all paying attention and that we start to push back on those that are trying to ruin our futures.
I mean, a lot of people are standing with them in every aspect. Hopefully there's a moment tonight for BET to take that moment and stand with them as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Here's the thing. The world is watching us. This isn't just about LA. It's not just about the United States. This is about the world. There are people right now saying, don't go to the United States. Who would have ever thought that we would be on a list where people are like, do not travel there? We are looking like wannabe Russians, and that's not who we are supposed to be in the land of the free and the land of opportunity. So I need people to understand, if you got some issues when it comes to immigrants, well, the vast majority of the people here need to go. If that's the reality. In fact, the vast majority of the people that are doing the kicking out are immigrants themselves. There's only a few of us who came over here only because we were stolen goods, and then the rest of them were already here, the Native Americans. And so, listen, it is time out for trying to believe that anybody's better than anybody. It's time for us to see our united humanity and focus on that and understand that we are only being downgraded in every single way on the national scale.
What can we do? Let me tell you what we can do. Run for office, get in there, maintain control of our democratic future. And I say democratic, not to be a Democrat or Republican, to be able to have a process and a country where our rights are respected, where diversity is embraced, where people can be themselves and not be attacked for defending those freedoms. You know, we're getting to a scary place where there's a lot of people that aren't going to really understand the history that it took and what people will sacrifice in order for us to have the rights that we have now. And when you look at the state of the country, think about the optics that it provides to the whole world. No matter where you are in the world right now, everybody's looking at the United States and saying, what a joke, right? What a joke. How do we get out of this?
I think a major thing that people are going to have to do to get out of this is take themselves out of the bubble that they are used to existing in, right? So a lot of times people listen to the same information from the same podcaster or the same news channel or the same news network, and those places are often feeding them information that's misinformation. Like I got so many phone calls on the night of the BET Awards going, "Are you safe?" I'm like, the BET Awards is happening around the corner from me. Like, what do you mean am I safe? And what was happening in like a 5-block radius downtown in front of federal buildings. But and they were showing looping on loop a car on fire.
Yeah.
Like that's what the rest of the world thought it was happening in LA. But we're so used to consuming information from the same places that a lot of people are getting misinformation. They really just don't know what's going on.
Well, listen, what I do know that's going on, if you're Latino or you're from another country, you in danger, girl. I mean, it's what it is. And I saw a clip today. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it right here. I saw a clip today, and this is why this is dangerous. It's not just him. It's what he embodies and what he's emboldening. People are starting to believe that this overt racism and aggression is just the new way. And then it puts them in a position where things could go left. A Florida sheriff said that if there's any unrest in his city, your family will be coming and picking up your remains. Don't believe me? Take a look.
You try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave. In our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
This is America?
It's scary. There's no way that we should be having conversations where a sheriff feels comfortable saying that if you're in that environment, your family's going to be coming to pick up your body. And the fact that Trump also said about his birthday parade, if you're out there protesting, you'll be met with force. Like, protesting is our constitutional right. Like, we have the right to peacefully assemble.
Not to mention, we're going to have to pay millions of dollars for the parade.
Insane.
Y'all voted for that. Bye. All right. Finally here to talk about it. Where's it at? The 2025 BET Award. Hey. Let me go ahead and get out the way now. Those flowers are for Jesse Collins, Connie Orlando, the entire BET network and BET staff, because, baby, y'all got it right. Before I even get into what staff want me to say, let me tell you what I experienced myself. I, Jason Lee, went to the BET Awards. Let me look in here really quick. I don't see it here. I went to the BET Awards, and I look fly as hell with a whole outfit that I bought the day before. If you missed it, take a look at this video. That was Valentino head to toe. I styled myself. Yes, I bought it right off of a rack. That is what the rack was wearing, and that is what I bought. I look great. Everybody loved it. I'm becoming a fashion icon. I'll look even better at my show this Friday, the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards. But listen, I am a culture critic, and what I love about BET is that they understand I have a job to do. I told you the last time I went, there was so much ass shaking on stage. Remember, I don't even think I went that year. All the ass shaking on stage, everybody was naked. Lotto, Megan, everybody was naked. Kamala Harris was like, "What's up, girl?" with Taraji. None of it seemed real and organic. There were brand placement everywhere. It looked like a flea market. But I have to tell you, they may not have heard it from me. Maybe they heard it from you. But this year, BET got it right. I just have to say that. As somebody who's been to BET Awards many times, I sat in the audience when Beyonce opened. I sat in the audience when the Fugees reunited. I mean, I've been there several times to watch it done right. BET, that has always stood for Black excellence and pushing the culture and culture's biggest night, which is what they coined this event, has always been something that the performances were historic. The people they honored were important to us. Now, there are politics, but there's politics in every award show. This was our time to come together. And if you've ever been to a BET weekend here in Los Angeles, the parties are lit. Deborah Lee used to have her dinners. Now Connie has a dinner. There's all these things happening. Well, this was the 25th anniversary of the BET Awards, and I think the 40th year of BET Network. And this year's awards was one for the books. Kevin Hart, let me give you a prop. Now, we wanted Kevin to host our show, but we have Tiffany this year again, and who knows, maybe Kevin will be there next year. But Kevin was the host, and I have to tell you, Kevin, you were by far one of the best hosts they've ever had. We know you're a big star. We know you're funny. We know da-da. But you are hilarious. Now, I'm going to give you some information on what you saw, and I'm going to give you information on what you didn't see. First, let's start with the fact that Kevin, I texted Kevin Hart, and I said, Kevin, you are messy as fuck. Don't you ever call me about being messy or shady, because after watching you at the BET Awards telling our friend Kirk Franklin that he be popping dick for Jesus, that line alone, you need to get on the main line with Jesus and tell him that you want to go to heaven, because you were a mess and it was so hilarious. But it was again, it wasn't just the joke that you told Kirk Franklin that he was popping dick for Jesus in front of his wife in the whole BET Awards. You were popping your penis as thrusting your waist to demonstrate how Kirk be doing it. Now, Kirk, I love you, and we talked this weekend, but you do be popping your dick for Jesus or whoever when you be dancing and working out in the gym, showing your arms and all, but whatever. Kevin, you did a lot, but you did what we needed to be done. And the fact that you could do that on the BET network, when we know that is the Bible Belt cable network for us Black folks, for you to be able to do that and push the edge and bring BET a little closer to this, to the days of what we're in now with the baddie culture and all. I mean, you can still be Black excellence, be a little edgy. Kevin, you were just what the show needed. And now we know that they were celebrating the 45 years of BET and 25 years of the BET Awards and the 106 in Park reunion. Let's talk about that. We also saw our 4 icons, Mariah Carey, Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, and Kirk Franklin, all get their flowers with amazing tributes. I have to tell you, there's so many places to go with this. I'm going to just go through what the staff want me to say, and I'm going to go talk about the other things. Jennifer Hudson's microphone was all the way on. I have been, as you know, critical of her day job as a talk show host, but undeniably, when she grabs that microphone to sing, she sings it down all the time. She performed a tribute as part of acknowledging Jamie Foxx as one of the icons, and she came out and she sang down. The TV showed it in a good way, and it looked great, but it was different when it was in person, just so you know. And I did see that Jennifer followed us at Hollywood Unlocked. I did slide in her DM because I got to send you flowers, Jennifer. But, I saw you there. There was a moment that I thought you saw me from the stage, and I was trying to disappear in my seat because I didn't want no smoke. You are from Chicago. But I just have to give you your flowers. You were amazing. But even before we even got there, what I thought was so nostalgic in the opening was all of the different performers from A-Marie, Maya, T.I., when they all came out and did their thing, it took us back to the heart, I think, of what BET was in terms of excellence. Now I think we follow a trend where we want to follow all the booty popping, hoochie coochie. Like, I get that's a part of our culture, and sometimes that's the trendy TikTok thing. So we tried, what?
the song.
Lizzo got us singing Hoochie Coochie over here. We never sang that over here. But now with that kind of being the trending thing, people tend to follow the trends instead of setting them.
Yeah.
BET set a trend with cultural excellence, and that's something that we as Black people need to see more of. Kids who are being raised up need to be able to see themselves on TV and see that we are more than popping. Well, Kirk, that's no dig to you, but you know what I mean. You're at least doing it for Jesus. Everybody else is doing it to get on the bad boys or bad girls. We need to be able to see what we saw, and they did that. Maya came out, killed it, looked great. A. Marie, like I said, all the people in the beginning, the B2K boys all reunited, all four of them, Raz B, Boog, Lil Fizz, and Omarion, all put their beef aside to be able to reunite for us. All the different hosts from 106 Apart. Again, it was great to see. Now, let me just say the speeches were emotional. Jamie went on and on and on about his ordeal, but I have to tell you the thing that was the most interesting about watching it all go down was I was watching everybody's reaction to Jamie. I was watching his sister's reaction. I was watching his daughter's reaction. I was watching other celebrities' reactions. I mean, Jamie came out and gave a very heartfelt speech about what he went through. And for the first time, I think, stripped back the layers of the pain that his family had to endure. And to see Jamie, if you know Jamie, if you ever met Jamie, if he's ever welcomed you in his house for parties or anything, Jamie is a very loving, nice individual and talented and important to us. So to be able to see him be as raw, I thought was also very moving. I did go over and speak to him very briefly and told him that, you know, we don't need to be in there crying. If he would have said, I think, one more line, I think the Thugs would have been crying in there. Speaking of Thugs, Young Thug was there, showed a lot of love. Kevin Gates showed a lot of love. Something was going on with Wale. I saw this clip online of an exchange that Wale had with Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is a streamer, and streaming has now become a thing. Even though it was a thing before, it's like a thing now, and Kai is one of the people at the top. Well, Kai was behind the scenes streaming to his millions and millions of fans, as he usually does, and he caught up with Wale and had this weird exchange. Well, I was sitting in my seat minding my business, and Wale walked up and whispered in my ear, pull the trigger. I don't know what trigger to pull. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, pull the trigger. I said, what are you talking about? He says, you know what I'm talking about. Wale, I'm a fan of you. I don't know what a float is. Flower Bomb? Is it Flower Bomb? Whatever your song is with Miguel. I love it. I don't know what trigger you were talking about pulling, and I'm a fan. So I did send you a message. You can message me. But there was like a lot of weird energy too. What you didn't see is I ran into Devon Franklin. Hey, Devon. I know Devon for a long time. He was not happy by something I had said on my show to Megan Good, his ex-wife. I guess it's because I said that she married him, although there were all these rumors about him, whatever, and that kind of set him off. Is that wrong?
I think you probably just opened up a can of worms that he thought was tightly closed.
See?
Oh, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying that for him, the rumor mill probably opened back up because of that conversation.
See?
I didn't.
See?
Because I said tightly closed.
No. Here's the deal. I told this Devon I would talk to him on the show or off the show or whatever, because I do, and I'm going to say this to your face. I do have a lot of love for you, Devon. Yes, I have access to you. You have access to me. We're friends. We have always gotten along. I've always respected you, and I admire you as a man of God, as an author, as just you've supported me from the beginning. I think in the conversation with Megan, who also is a friend, I was caught off guard by information I didn't know. And when I'm not planning on talking about something, you kind of get my raw reaction. And that was my raw reaction. And I'm not apologizing for having a raw reaction because I am unfiltered. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't intend to hurt anybody's feelings with my job. And I do have a lot of respect for you. So, you know, hopefully at some point we get to talk. Money Long was there. She didn't speak. You know, it's always interesting when you see people you know who don't speak to you, but it's okay. I think it's maybe because I unfollowed her or something. I don't know. I did see Keisha Cole. You know, she thinks I don't like her, but we were able to talk and she knows I like her. I love you, Keisha. They really mad at my staff because the staff on Hollywood Unlocked that write all these things, and maybe the podcast, when you say things, they get upset.
Oh my God, don't put that on me.
Well, I always give glowing references about everything that everybody's doing.
I give fair assessments. I never say anything spicy.
But look, there were a lot of people there that showed a lot of love. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came up and acknowledged everything that we're doing and all the work that's been done. But it was also moments like the tribute to 106 in Park where we saw all the hosts like Free, Big Tigga, Terrence J, Julissa Bermudez, and Keisha Shantae, and Bow Wow. Now, let me show you a photo of them really quick. Take a look. This is them. Okay, notably missing was Roxy and AJ. Okay? Now, Roxy and AJ Calloway have since apologized for their absence during the 106 in Park reunion. Now, AJ said that he was stuck on a flight and Roxy was busy embarking on one of the biggest stages of her career. And Mr. 106 in Park, Bow Wow, was also there and performed with Jermaine Dupri. We even saw B2K, as I said, reunite. Let me show you a picture of them. Looking great. Costume changes, I see. Now, as I told you at the beginning, we had everybody from Ashanti, Maya, Jim Jones, A-Marie, Keisha Cole, T.I. And then later in the show, we saw performances by Lil Wayne, Tiana Taylor, Glorilla, Leon Thomas, Luke James, Miles Caton, Lucky Day, Lettucey, Playboy Cardi, Andrew Day, and Brittany Spencer. But I have to go back to the performance by Glorilla. Glow, let me tell you what I loved about your performance. First of all, every post I'm putting on Instagram now, I use the song Let 'Em Cook. Right? That song, Let Her Cook. I love the fact that you paid homage to Michael Jackson, but when you turned around and twerked for a little bit, we still saw your ass was out because you've been working in the gym. But I just love your personality, your energy. I was able to catch up with her on the red carpet, and I was able to catch up with Doechii on the red carpet, both beautiful Black women who are doing their things, and I'm so proud of both of them. And to watch her performance, the creativity, the artistry, the growth since I met you in Live nightclub to watching you on the stage at BET Awards, holding your own, and the fact that you seem to be enjoying the situation and you look great. And shout out to EJ King who styled you. Shout out to the whole team. Yo Gotti, I did tell Yo Gotti that I was going to file a complaint with management because Rex has yet to get you on my show, but that was a joke, but not really. We need you over here because we want to celebrate you too. Did you watch the BET Awards at all?
I did. I thought, like you mentioned earlier, there was a level of excellence that they brought this year that was beautiful. Everybody looked elegant and dressed the part. The carpet was beautiful. The opening performance was so nostalgic. I am obsessed with A-Marie, always have been. So I thought that opening was great, and I think JR choreographed that whole thing. So shout out to him. So I just thought they did a fantastic job, and of course that like throwback to 106 in Park was super nostalgic. So just the energy they brought around the entire show, I thought was amazing.
So when I pulled up to the show, okay, first of all, let me tell you some inside tea. I did something that I used to do back in the day. I used to sneak in shit or do things right. I didn't have the pass to get in the car to get to the carpet. So I said, I'm going to use this face to figure it out. So I walked around the lobby hoping somebody would see me. And somebody goes, oh my God, Jason, why are you here in the lobby? You need to be in the VIP lounge on the carpet. I'm like, I don't know where to go. I'm lost. They were like, come with me. They put me in the thing. I ran to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. We had a little moment, and then they put me in a car, and then they took me over there. And then when I got to the carpet, I was like, yo, how do I get on the carpet now? Because I don't have no credential. I walked around hoping somebody would see me. Shout out to Chloe from BET. Chloe, who was Chloe ran the hell out the carpet. Chloe saw me and was like, oh no, let Jason lead through. And I said, thank you. Yeah, thank you. But anyway, I've reached a level of success now where this face card gets me past the barriers, whereas before I would climb fences. Okay, there were so many people in there. I want to give a shout out to my friend Lettucey. The mic was on. Real singers was singing. Now, Playboy Cardi, I don't know what you were doing because it was so dark and demonic in there and I couldn't see your face. I don't even know if that was really you performing. I had to look at my friend and say, is that Playboy Cardi? I guess that's what you look like. I couldn't see. It was too dark. Your friends were staying on the top of Maybach trucks. That was very abusive to real stellar equipment. Mariah Carey, she performed. I don't think the mic was on, but she looked good. And the dancers were great and everything about it was great. And look, she won her first award ever at BET.
Really?
As an icon. They gave her like an honorary award as an icon, but she said she's never been given an award before.
What? That's insane.
And Busta Rhymes presented the award to her and his speech was longer than hers. Busta, we love you, Busta. And you showed me so much love that day. So I just want to say that I'm a huge fan. You're an icon. I mean, you're everything. That speech, I almost fell asleep. That speech was so long, even Stevie Wonder saw that you needed to wrap it up. By the way, Stevie Wonder, he came out and made so many jokes about... Y'all be getting mad at me for making Stevie jokes, but Stevie be making jokes. And I think at this point, I'm convinced Stevie Wonder's not blind. Do you think he's blind?
Yes.
Like fully blind?
Yeah. Yes.
They
He's
say
been blind forever, so he just knows how to move.
They said Stevie be driving, FaceTiming. Stevie, do you think it's all a joke now? Because there's a clip going around online right now where everybody's talking about how he be FaceTiming. He knows things.
I can't.
There's a moment on stage at the BET Awards where Jamie Foxx cracked a joke. He was going to say something to Stevie, but he caught himself, and then he just started walking around the stage. You had to be in the room to see it. I don't know how they caught it on TV, but it was uncomfortable, but it was also funny. Another time that was uncomfortable was when you, Kevin, put on Usher's red jacket or red coat and started walking around with cherries, trying to put them in people's mouths. You did it to Pam and Gina from Martin, Tisha Campbell, and
Tashina Arnold.
Tashina Arnold, who we love, and Kerry Washington. Then you talked. It was just inappropriate, but it was funny. And I had to put Kevin Hart and Cardi B in a text group because Kevin made a joke about passing 2C around on the boat, and it just didn't sit well with Cardi. But nonetheless, they were able to work it out. Look, Kevin, you were perfect. You were exactly what we needed. Yeah, I thought it was refreshing to see all of the things that were done. There were no violent crimes. There was no ghetto-ness. I mean, everybody there was on their fabulosity. You know, another person that I saw there together was Tiana Taylor and Aaron Pierre. They are a thing.
They look beautiful together.
But listen, what you're not seeing about Aaron Pierre behind the scenes is he gives you pretty, UK British boy. That man was all over Tiana, hands on the ass, hands on here, rubbing on here, holding on, hugging on her. I know the sex is great between both of them. Both bodies banging. They both were beautiful. Tiana Taylor, you ate up the performance. I have to give you that. I did kind of see the metal outfit before on Beyonce at the Renaissance concert. However, you did it differently. I think anybody can be inspired. Taraji being a part of your set, everything about it. The thing that people don't give Tiana credit for is she's not just an artist and actress. She is a creative director. So a lot of the stuff you see from some of these girls and guys, Tiana is behind the scenes doing. She's returned to music with a new album that has not been released yet, but she performed at the show and absolutely killed it. Did you like her performance? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. I missed that one.
Kirk did a great performance with gospel. I mean, everything about the award show was great. I have no complaints. My seats were.
Got some good camera shots at the beginning.
Jesse Collins, who executive produces and directs, Rika and Babyface, who made the phone call. Rika made the phone call. Got them camera seats. And Connie Orlando for making sure we were good. Everybody who helped us out. Ernest Dukes for making sure to helping me with coordinate the carpet. The little lady who was driving me in the van when we almost had to hop out on security because they were taking too long. All the fans who showed me love. Fans were going crazy. I always look at my friend now. We count down the times where I'm going to look at him and say I'm famous because it's funny. It's like famous is like a thing that people get high off of. I find it really funny when people fan out. Anyway, shout out to everybody who won. Shout out to everybody who attended. You all look great. Shout out to everybody who presented. I saw Deion Cole. He sat in front of me when Money Long left her seat. And I told Deion, I'm so glad that he's alive because, he was in the hospital recently and he had a really serious thing. And he's talked about, being, grateful to be alive. And, Jamie talked about, he came out and spoke right after the memoriam played. And the first thing that brought him to tears was he said that could have been me. And he's fighting now to live, to be stronger to the culture, more connected to the culture, which means he's going to be coming on the Jason Lee show and pulling up to the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards soon. He's out of town this year, but, we are in talk. So, I don't know. Everything was perfect. Snoop was there with his wife. I talked to him and Queen Brodus. I mean, I got around and talked to everybody. I talked to Tyler Perry. Look, Tyler, thank you for being so gracious. He's making sure that me and his team are connected too. But Tyler and I had a moment. T.I. and I had a moment. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I didn't even tell you about T.I. Now you guys know that I have a history here at Hollywood Unlocked for years. I mean, my brand. For years, I've talked about people and their situations, whatever. I've always loved Tiny, and I've always felt that you guys troll Tiny, and she's the nicest, sweetest person in the world. Every time y'all give her hell, but she's always so nice and sweet to me, always. I seen their little daughter on the carpet. Have you seen her online? Yeah. She's super talented. That girl has so much personality. I don't know her name. I can't think of her name. Do you know her name? It starts with an M, I think. Well, anyway,
Just get a little,
it's not Magistry. It's
performing group, right?
No, she's not in a group. She's a little.
Well, she was with that other little girl, the little rapper girl. They had a little group together.
Did she? No, this
Yeah,
is no.
she did.
Is this Eris?
Yes.
Okay, Eris, Queen Eris. I was walking, looking down, and I saw Eris, and I said, "I'm a fan of yours. You're so talented." And she said, "Thank you." And Tiny was like, "Yeah, tell him thank you." And I said, "You're super talented, and you're so smart." And I was just kind of pouring into her daughter because every time I see her online, she's so smart, so well put together, so polite. The girl's a star, and she can sing. Okay. So then I see Tiny, and I'm like, "Oh my God, how you doing, Tiny?" And we have a really quick hello, whatever. And Tiny's usually a little bit more communicative. She'll talk a little more. Well, she was with her man. I looked up and T.I. was standing right in front of me. And, you know, there's so much going on in the past and, you know, how I used to be really critical, whatever. And I say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, I'm a big fan or whatever. And we talked and shook hands or whatever. And it was funny. I had to tell him a story that the day before when I was shopping for my outfit, I was driving down Rodeo and I thought I saw T.I. walking in front of my car. So I rolled down my window. I said, "Hey, T.I." And I kept calling. It wasn't T.I.
Did the person recognize you?
I rolled up the window before they could see me. Okay, so listen, at this point, I believe if they black, they know who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, white people know me too now, and everybody knows me, but when I see somebody black, I know they're going to know me. And no matter where I am, and here's the deal, I will say the one thing fame has done for me is it's held me accountable. Because, you know, back in the day, whew, if that order ain't right,
It was some drama.
now you got to catch yourself because that cook know you, that waitress know you, the person in the restaurant know you, the person in the airport know you. We be places and people. Well, I got on a flight the other day and I sat all the way in the back because it was going to deplane from the back. And the lady walking by, she said, "Ooh, Jason Lee, you so messy. Can I get a picture with you?" I said, "Girl, give me some oranges." But anyway,
and everybody has a phone now too.
And everybody has a phone. You know what? That's the thing I think about because sitting right over here to Hollywood Online. Listen, you guys did a phenomenal job, BET. I want to find something to say. I mean, your staff were great. Oh, Doechii ate. Doechii, I forgot about Doechii. Okay. Doechii, thank you for having the courage as an artist who, even though you're new, you're not new, but you're new. You're not solidified enough. You don't have 10 albums in or all the charts for you to start talking about politics. For you to get up there on that stage, have the courage to stand in your blackness, defending the rights of people who just outside of the building were going through stuff with ICE raids and Trump and all that. The fact that you were able to do that and have the courage to do it, you had a round of applause from everybody in the room, and I have to give you a round of applause here. And that's why we support Doechii, because not just your creativity and all that, we've been watching you and your hunger, your desire, but you're authentically growing into who you are in front of us without trying to be anything that anybody wants you to be. You showed up black. You showed up beautiful. I loved it. This is what she said in case you missed it. Take a listen.
We want to address what's happening right now outside of the building. There are ruthless attacks that are creating fear and chaos in our communities in the name of law and order. Trump is using military forces to stop a protest. And I want y'all to consider what kind of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. What type of government is that? People are being swept up and torn from their families, and I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to use this moment to speak up for all oppressed people. For black people, for Latino people, for trans people, for the people in Gaza. We all deserve to live in hope and not in fear. And I hope we stand together, my brothers and my...
At the Hollywood Unlocked Impact Awards last year, Ben Crump said that we have to speak truth to power, no matter how difficult it is. There was a little clip I posted on my Instagram the other day. I'm going to put it right here before I move on, just to remind us that, like, we live in a times right now where we have to use our voice. You and I talk about politics probably more than we want to. But why do we do that? Because we have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And because again, going back to people don't get as much information as they should from the right places. So oftentimes if you don't speak up, people aren't hearing the truth of what's really happening. So like her using her platform in that way reminds me of times when like Rihanna's done that before, where they get an award and that's supposed to be their moment, but they use their moment to bring light and attention to people who actually need it in that moment more than they do.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful.
Yeah. There's so many moments. I saw Sierra, who I love. Sierra, I don't have a relationship with you, but every time I see you, it's always love. You show me love, I show. Sierra looks so good. She's so polite. She's so well put together. She's so poised. She was on her phone doing a FaceTime with somebody in the middle of a commercial, and I went over and interrupted and spoke or whatever. So sweet. We saw Young Miami. You guys have been talking about her outfit online, talking about you didn't like it. I thought she looked beautiful, and that purple body is snatched. She always has good energy. Who else did we see? I mean, everybody. I said Snoop. I didn't see SZA. I didn't go over and speak to Kendrick Lamar. I said Kevin Gates, show me love. I didn't go speak to Kendrick Lamar. I mean, the thing about the BET Awards, when you're in the front rows or whatever. Oh, I saw Tamar Braxton. I didn't see Tamar. No. Tamar, I don't hate Tamar because, I used to like Tamar.
We were friends.
We were friends. Well, I was a friend.
Yeah.
I saw her, but we didn't speak. But I will say, Tamar was with her kid, having a good time. She wasn't bothering nobody, so I'm not going to bother her. There's not a thing. It's just that I think that, in watching this recent thing where she called Lonnie Love the Big Back.
Big Back Cadillac.
Big Back Cadillac.
No, I was saying.
Okay, listen, here's the deal. She called Lonnie Love Big Back Cadillac. Okay? Wrong. Then she went on another podcast and said she felt bad about it all. It's the flip-floppy thing for me. I own everything I said. Yeah, do I feel bad that I say Jennifer Hudson, what I said about her at the time? That was, let me tell you something, that was an unintentional, off-the-cuff, unnecessary comment about an icon, period. So I had to do the right thing and own that by saying I apologize. And I not only apologized, I sent her a message. I'm going to send her flowers. I'm going to send her a letter. And I'm going to leave a girl alone. And it ain't to build a relationship. It's just because it was some bitch shit for me to do that just came out. That Big Back Cadillac was something you've been wanting to get off your chest. Okay? And you talked about it to me. I love Lonnie. I have no problem with Lonnie. But anyway, she don't bother me, so I don't bother her. I want nothing but the best for Tamar. I mean, she did try to read me on Instagram one day, but that's because she really wants to be a gay boy and she thinks that she could win. I don't know how many reads she's had or how many times in Yonla she tried to fix that life, but you barking up the wrong tree over here, baby. But I wish you the best. Oh, another thing I saw online. You know what? You guys are, I saw Joey Chavis, Bow Wow's baby mom, talking about your reaction to what her daughter was wearing at the BET Awards. And Joey responded to some of you. Take a look at what she said.
I show y'all the picture that they sent over. It does not, it looks like a long sleeve dress that's like has jewels on it and a thing hanging on the side. I was like, oh my God, so cute. At no point do we know that it was a cutout. But whoever was styling her should have said, hey, there's a cutout. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And when she put it on, I think they were like, oh man, we didn't realize. Oh gosh, what do we have to back up? No, they don't have to back up. We're in the trailer. She has to go out. What? So she was just saying she didn't like how she had to like do this the whole time. She just felt kind of like, weird and uncomfortable. And I was like, well, yeah, because it's inappropriate. But yeah. So yeah, she had to deal with thousands of grown people talking about her, saying, I know her mama, but her mama ain't doing no thing. Mama was not in attendance. Mama was not around. Okay? Mama would have had, if I was there, I would have went to the closest whatever, or Instacarted some little black shorts to put underneath. But that's just a mistake. That's not gonna happen ever again. Right, I would have went right there at Macy's or somewhere. Of course I'm clearing it up because a lot of these people are trying it. Like, it's cool, you have your comments. I had my comments. I saw it when y'all saw it. She went from the trailer to we had no time to even speak. I didn't say, oh my God, let me see her. nothing. I saw it online with y'all, and I said, so yeah. Yeah, the one with her and Tia was really cute.
Now, let me tell you what I saw. I saw Bow Wow sitting there with his 2 daughters, having a great time. They were enjoying a show that he's a part of. He's the fabric of BET. He's a very present father. They looked beautiful. His daughter is extremely talented. She has lots of personality. Why are we finding things to pick at with people that y'all ain't got nothing to do? Where are your kids? Do you even know? I don't even know where my dogs are. So is Peter going to come for me now? I just think we need to mind our business a little bit. I thought Bow Wow did a phenomenal job, and I'm sure the kids were just happy to see their dad up there getting his flowers. And the girls look cute to me. Why do people feel like they could talk about people's kids?
So they can have this conversation, so that platforms pick up the conversation and they become a topic of conversation.
And Joey, I think you said something like, it was a mistake or something will happen again. You don't owe these people no explanations. Now, you do owe us an explanation how you have 5 different kids or 4 kids by all these rich-ass men, because we all want to follow your footsteps. By the way, I met Joey a couple times. Last time I saw you, Joey, we were at that club in Atlanta. I think I was with Ty Lepley or whatever. Is it Ty Lepley or LaPlay? Whatever. That fine-ass man who was with my girl, Miracle. Anyway, Joy was there, and I see why all the men love her. She's fabulous. Body's just, I want to hang with you one day. That's why I'm going to just leave this alone. Anyway, everybody was great. It was good seeing everybody. Is there anything else that we saw that we're not missing? That minute Stevie Wonder walked out on stage and Claudia Jordan was sitting down the row and looked over at me, and I refused to deal with you. Claudia, you're a mess. Claudia, you are a hot mess.
I love Claudia.
Because of that clip from the Jason Lee show. I'm going to just leave it there. All right, that's it. Goodbye. We're not even halfway through the show yet.
Nope.
All right, let's get to it. Diddy's on trial.
Allegedly.
I'll just throw it out there right now at the top of the show because it's going to go everywhere throughout this thing probably. Okay, now Diddy's federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy case is fully underway. The last time we spoke of the trial, things were just beginning with Cassie testifying against Diddy. And she took the stand 9 months pregnant, and since then she's given birth. So let's give her a round of applause. This is her 3rd child with her husband, Alex Fine, who was Diddy's trainer. We also talked about sex worker Daniel Phillip, alleging that Cassie initiated urination acts. Okay, let me first start by saying that we've learned so much about Diddy and Cassie that on one hand, they were some freaks. But on the other hand, doesn't it kind of expose Cassie in a way where it's like, and I'm not defending Cassie and I'm not defending Diddy, or I'm talking as I'm saying, I'm thinking as I'm talking. When you file a lawsuit against somebody, there is the chance that your tea can be spilled. Mm-hmm. So she filed a lawsuit, or she threatened to file a lawsuit. She filed one, and she got the $20 million, and then it was a grab and go. She was out of there, and then boom. Then these charges came up, and now she's on trial, where now they're not only putting up all the headshots of all the men that have ran through her poon, but now who've peed on her, who've done all these things to her. And is it degrading in a way? Because I kind of feel bad that she has to be on full display, but then again, you're a part of all this.
I think that maybe I would hope at this point that there's some vindication in this for her, because I think she was had to be a silent victim for so long that I hope. But of course, I don't want nobody to know who I was with last week. Like, I don't need anybody knowing my business. Oh, I wasn't with anybody last week. It's been like 9 months. But the reality, like to your point, yes, I think there's probably a level of embarrassment that she has to feel. But at the same time, I would hope that the vindication of her, like the violence she suffered privately for so long, is being made public. I hope that brings her some kind of peace.
But they're talking about bumps on her tongue and
having to put cum on him,
putting cum on his nipple, so and I mean, and then all the people. And I'm sorry. Again, I'm talking as I'm thinking. I'm thinking as I'm talking. Who picked all these people? There was no aesthetic. There was no theme. Some look like out of shape police officers from a Law and Order episode. Others look like you picked them up at a taxi stand at Newark. I mean, I don't really know how this happened. Some of what I got, she initiated a lot of this, or he initiated. The whole thing was wild. But Cassie had also accused Diddy of forcing her to set up all these alleged freak-offs, forcing her to do them while on her period and keeping her busy with them instead of singing. Now, since then, Kid Cudi has taken the stand to recount Diddy allegedly setting his car on fire. We saw all of that and wanting him dead. After learning about him and Cassie seeing each other during one of their breaks, Dawn Richard, remember, she testified against Diddy, alleging that he was abusive towards her and saw him allegedly attack Cassie on multiple occasions. She alleged that Diddy once hit Cassie in the head with a black skillet full of eggs and kicked her in the head and body and then dragged her upstairs, where she was heard glass breaking and all types of other yelling and stuff. Now, Dawn admitted that she didn't intervene nor call police, and that the next day Diddy allegedly told her they shouldn't talk about things because people could end up missing, which she took as a threat. There was also, I think, a moment where he went to somebody's house, the assistant, former assistant, what was her name? Capricorn. Say he went to the house, picked her up with a gun and said we were going to go do something to Kid Cudi, and then took her somewhere and told her that she may have to die. But is that proving their case yet?
I think it's starting to prove the case, yeah. It's
So
starting.
are they trying to just define who he is and
No, but I think
what he's about?
I think a lot of this is leading to prove racketeering for sure, because there was a lot of crimes that have been committed. Of course, the sexual stuff is not necessarily a crime, you know, like being, like you said, being freaky and having a lot of bottles of baby oil isn't a crime, but like forcibly caught, like pushing people into those acts is. So I think they are proving some of their points in this, but I think a lot of it is building the case that you can't say without a shadow of a doubt that he didn't do these.
Listen, Cameron has now weighed in on the court of public opinion. He actually said something that went viral when he talked about Cassie, because he had one of the guys on there called The Punisher. That was his name, The Punisher. You can only imagine why, a big black dude. On his podcast to talk about his details with Cassie and Diddy, because he participated. And this is what Cameron said to Punisher, which was wild. Listen.
How was that pussy, though?
I mean, bro, even if it was fire.
Bro, was the pussy good for family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga.
What? Okay, let me start by saying I love you, Cameron. I love Cameron. Cameron, everybody that does what we do has their way of doing it. Nori does his thing. Nori drinks and acts like he don't know what he's talking about when he's trying to bait you into some bullshit. Me, you already know. I'm going to interview you. I'm going to ask you all the great questions. We're going to get into your zodiac. I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to start asking you all the stuff that people want to know, right? Because once you get people comfortable, they get to start whatever. Cameron is straight Harlem, straight out the gate. He hitting you with all the fire. You don't like that?
Not at all. I think people have to think about the circumstance that they're also talking about. This is a woman who was forced into a violent sexual relationship for years and years and years and years and years, and she was pregnant at the time, about to give birth to her child, and having to publicly air all of the things that happened to her in a sexual manner. Some that she was okay with, and a lot that she probably wasn't okay with.
But $20 million made it easy.
Yeah, but at the same time,
$30 million now. It's up to 30.
I think at the same time,
She got a trainer from 24 Hour Fitness and turned him into a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, but still, think about the conversation you're having before you have it. That's all. Like, figure out a way to navigate that conversation where you don't have to sound so disrespectful to a person who's a victim. That's all I'm saying. So
but that's his content.
It's his content, and I think rightfully so, a lot of people came at him and said that was disrespectful. So
people say I'm disrespectful. I haven't even been disrespectful through this whole trial, right? I've been fair.
No, you've been.
I've been fair.
You've been trying to be fair.
Listen. Meanwhile, an older black woman is condemning everyone laughing at a black man having his legacy destroyed. And the woman went viral for her outburst in the courtroom. She said, "Diddy, these motherfuckers are laughing at you. It's not a fucking game. They're coming after you." And after being escorted out of the courtroom, she told the BBC this. Listen.
Everyone thinks this is a joke. Everyone laughs in every courtroom in here at you. And I don't think it's funny for people to laugh at a black man going through what he's going through right now.
And that's what you shouted out in the actual courtroom?
In the actual courtroom, and it's not funny. Laughing at black man legacy being destroyed.
And how did Diddy react?
Well, I heard he had his mouth open, and shaking his head, yeah.
I mean, does she have a point? Because if you look at the history of our country, like Bill Cosby, successful black man, take it down. Black man, take it down. Michael Jackson, successful black man, take it down. I'm going to skip R. Kelly. We saw the tapes. Diddy, he's a bad guy. He's a bad boy. His company's called Bad Boy. They knew they were dating a bad boy. Now, I mean, this court hearing has kind of seemed like a witch hunt.
I don't know if I want to label it a witch hunt. I think there is one side of her conversation that I agree with. Should people be sitting around making this a joke? No, because it is a serious conversation. This is a person who was iconic in our culture, who now we're seeing the dark side of his life, and I don't think it's funny. Like, nothing about it is a joke, and I don't think they should make light of him losing his life, right? Even if he deserves to, I don't think it should be made light of. So I do think it should be taken seriously. In the same way, I think Cameron should be having conversations about Cassie in a serious manner, because this is not a joke. Like, because these are people's real lives. And like we've said before, like, we don't know how people are going to walk away from the last comment they hear about them. They could take it in like, it could be the last thing they want to deal with, you know? So I think people do have to be careful how they deal with these kind of conversations.
But people aren't even humanizing Diddy at this point.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay. And
Yeah.
but I mean, when you're going through the court process, don't you deserve the right to a fair trial, being treated fairly, being presumed innocent? None of that applies anymore with social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Because in many people's minds, Diddy's guilty.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Everybody on the internet has an opinion, and they can say it behind a keyboard. So they don't have a face that they have to share. A lot of times they have a fake face. So yeah, I feel like everybody has something to say. Everybody wants to make a joke out of it because everybody wants to have the comment that goes viral, right? So it's all a big joke to everyone.
Well, what's not a joke is the judge. The judge is not playing because Diddy has been in the courtroom staring people down. I'll say allegedly. Making eye contacts and stuff with the jurors. And the judge has warned him to stop making menacing stares at the jurors and witnesses before he gets removed from his own courtroom while he's going through his own trial. The judge has said, if you don't stop, you will be removed. And the judge has also denied his second request for a mistrial. Now, back in the courtroom, we heard from a Jane Doe, whom 50 Cent alleges is his baby mama, Daphne Joy, whom he's also filed against for full custody over their son, Sire. This is what 50 Cent said about Daphne and trolling her. Look. Hey, does anyone know who Jane Doe is? I'm trying to research for the Diddy doc. Man, this stuff with Elon and Trump is crazy. And then he put a picture of his baby mom. In court docs, Jane Doe testified that Diddy introduced her to alleged freak-offs after dating one-on-one, and that after doing her first one, he stopped taking her out and only hit her up for drug-induced and unprotected freak-offs with him and male entertainers. She also claimed that after Diddy got into a relationship with Young Miami, he slowly stopped hitting her up. Jane Doe also testified that she believed Diddy was
allegedly
bisexual, and he really enjoyed watching her with other men as if he were scared to do the act himself. So is that like when you're like a top, but you think about getting hit, so you don't do it, but you hire somebody else to go do it so you can watch it?
Maybe. I mean, he allegedly likes to have their semen rubbed all over him afterwards.
Allegedly.
So, I mean, I guess there might be some truth to that.
Jane Doe further alleged that Diddy beat her in 2024 after calling him a pedophile for dating a woman 25 years younger than him. She claims he left her with 2 golf ball-sized bruises on her forehead and immediately forced her to do a freak-off with a male sex worker right after. Now, Jane Doe also alleges Diddy threatened to send a sex tape of her to her child's father, allegedly 50 Cent. She said, I became the side chick and sex worker in my own relationship. She further alleged that Diddy, whom she dearly loved and couldn't say no to, made her sleep with 3 men in 3 days before taking another woman on vacation. I mean, that sounds like a weekend with you without the vacation.
Oh, please.
At least 10 years ago. You have matured. We have both.
We've grown.
We've grown. We've slowed down.
Yeah.
Please protect the pet population. You know, they're still having sex with pets in Stockton.
What?
Stockton, the homeless people, some of the homeless people have found to killing and having sex with the dogs and cats or whatever. So now we've had to put it's like a lot of stuff going on in the world. Not that has anything to do with Diddy. That just came to mind that I have 2 jobs now. Talk about this and deal with that. Well, anyway, she said that he took the other woman on vacation. She said he took the other woman on vacation after she had sex with 3 guys in 3 days. Transcript said that she even threatened to stop doing the freak-offs after seeing Diddy and Young Miami and Turks and Caicos, telling him he better get off that island. But why would these people who say they were victims want him so bad to be with them?
But again, like
Make it make sense.
She said right before that he threatened her with the release of the content that he's constantly recording of them. So this is a big part of it. I think this is a big part of it.
Allegedly.
Right.
But if she's on vacation, if Young Miami's on vacation with Diddy, why are you threatening him that he better get off that island with her because he's your man?
Yeah.
But then you're a victim?
But yes, and I think
But you're a victim, but he's your man that you want home with you.
Stockholm syndrome is a real thing. That's why it has a
Google
name.
that and tell me the definition of Stockholm syndrome, because I don't even know where Stockholm is.
Yes, Stockholm syndrome is a psychological response where victims of a traumatic event like kidnapping or abuse develop positive feelings or emotional attachment to their captor or abuser.
That's a mental health disorder?
Yeah, you become mentally attached to the person who's abusing you. It becomes like you need them in your life, even though they're victimizing you. So that's why it's a real thing. Like, that's why a lot of people can't leave these relationships, because they're stuck in the relationship and they think they're in love with the person and they think they need that in their life.
But whose fault is that?
I don't think it's anybody's fault.
I mean, it is a thing. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But it's not Diddy's fault if she developed Stockholm syndrome.
But it's his fault if he's victimizing people by violence.
No, I get that. But
Yeah.
I'm saying if you develop Stockholm syndrome, we all have an illness where we want the person that's been bad to us. I've even had that.
sure.
You've had, everybody's had that. Not to the degree or whatever, right? But who bears the responsibility in that? Both parties, the person who has a disorder?
I think both.
Because you don't want a victim blame.
No, I think the person who is in power, and this is the interesting thing to me too. I think, and this is just an opinion I'm giving. I think a lot of times these people know how to pick out a person.
These people meaning the victimizers.
The victimizer
Okay.
knows how to pick out a person who they can like mold into that kind of person, and they know how to pick a person who's not strong-willed enough to leave that circumstance. Like, we've seen other people around, even when who was the choreographer that cussed him out on
Lorianne Gibson.
Yeah, Lorianne Gibson. She wasn't. He knows she's not the person that's going to sit around and be that. So, like, I think victimizers know how to pick a person who's not going to push back enough that they can build them into that space. So, I mean, that's just my opinion. But
well, we're watching the trial. I mean, Diddy, I don't know if Diddy's getting out. Do you think Diddy's getting out?
It ain't looking good.
I mean, we've seen Young Thug get off. I mean, well,
Allegedly.
we've seen Young Thug be found not guilty. We've seen people go through their trials.
Well, the one thing that could happen, because this is a federal case.
Trump has already said he's not opposed to it.
And he likes to do things like this to attract a blackmail base. Like, this is what he does to get their attention. So they forget everything else because they're like, oh, he free Diddy. Like, that would be a thing for sure.
And it would help Trump.
Absolutely. It would help him with a base that he wants attention from.
Well, Diddy used to speak badly on Trump, and 50 said he was going to call Donald and tell him. This is the pettiness of it all. But anyway, highly entertaining at your expense. So take that. Bye. All right, I'm not happy about this one. DDG and Halle Bailey. Oh my God, they're both alleged abuse. Now, again, I'm catching up on things I didn't talk about because I've been all over the place, but these are topics that I really, really wanted to cover. Halle Bailey and DDG, both people who are friends to the company, because Haley's been to our award show when we honored Chloe. Chloe's been on the show, and DDG has been on our show, and we really like both of them. And look, I'm not going to get in the middle of their stuff personally because there's a baby involved. And anyway, they're back in the headlines, and things are just getting messy. Back in October of 2024, you remember they split. And in March 2025, when we last spoke of the couple, as DDG accused Halle of gatekeeping their son, Halo, and possibly facing a custody battle. Well, in May, Halle filed a restraining order against DDG, claiming that he attacked her in January over an argument over their visitation schedule for their son. In a police report, Halle said as she secured a crying Halo into his car seat, DDG allegedly repeatedly yelled at her, "Get out of my car, bitch." And she said things turned physical with DDG allegedly, I'm going to push allegedly, pulling her hair, slamming her face into the steering wheel, and chipping her tooth in the process. She shared this on social media. Let me show you some of the receipts that she's showing, saying this was the chip and these are the bruises that were caused. Now, they continued to drive to DDG's house where Halle explained to his family what happened. And she said they promised to look after Halo as she left emotionally shaken up and bruised on her arms. Now, in her restraining order against DDG, Halle asked to secure protection for both herself and her son. Meanwhile, DDG, his family, and his friends insist that he's innocent, and it was Halle who used to put hands on him, resulting in him breaking up with her over abuse. Now, I was looking at all this go down, and I was thinking, what could be driving all this? And my opinion is, this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, they're in a fight for their child. They both have love for their child, and they both have an idea of how their child should be raised and that they should be communicating, because you remember, Halle was mad at DDG for live streaming the son without her permission, and then that became a thing that they then worked through. Well, anyway, a judge has stepped in. The judge has now granted Halle temporary sole custody of Halo. Why? Because once a person says they've been abused, and once the person says that they have not only abused, but they have a solid home for the kid to be at, that person, and it's a mom, you're going to get the kid, at least here in California. Well, DDG is filing an emergency motion with receipts to prevent Halle from taking their son out of the country. Now, DDG allegedly, Halle attacked him, took his gun, and also threatened to harm herself in alleged text messages after she claimed to learn about him allegedly sleeping with Lala Baptiste, who claims that she and DDG are just strictly platonic friends. Here are the alleged DDG and Halle texts. Let me say, these were all disturbing to watch. I don't like that we even have to report on it, but nonetheless, I have a job to do. Take a look. So these are text messages going on and on and on between Halle and DDG. Now, DDG is Daryl, that's in the blue, and she's in the allegedly, I'll say allegedly because, again, these are text messages that have been provided. I don't have the phone, so whatever. She goes on and says it's his fault, that he'll cry about it later. She begged for help. I don't have anyone. I'm actively suicidal and struggling. I've been running to the doctor every day for help, and you still play in my face. I won't make it to my birthday because of you. The conversations go on and on and on. I'm going to let you read. No, go back. People can't read that fast. Go back. Okay, you guys can read this here. Basically, she's saying she doesn't have enough. She's had enough. She hates him. He's the most horrible person that she's ever met. She goes, I wish I didn't have to fight with you, but you continue to let me down. And openly flirt about, flirting with all these other women, but her, you hate me and want me to die. I want to die because of you. I will die because of you. And they go on and on and on. And then he says, I can't believe you're acting like this. You put your penis inside. Go back to the penis. You put your penis inside of her in Mexico. And that's the claim about Lala Baptiste. Okay, they move on to the next one. I'm not going to read all this. But basically, it's looking very suicidal. Okay, now, let me first start by saying that there's no joke here. There's no da-da-da. This is a sad thing to watch somebody the Little Mermaid, who we're in love with, and at my award show, I said we're never going to let anybody attack her, da-da-da. It's sad to see these young people who once loved each other, who have a kid, who are both famous, go through such a public breakup in such a messy way. If these are the messages that she provided him, she filing court papers is going to require him to defend himself, so he then released the receipts that he would get the internet talking, including us here. But now we know too much, don't we?
But I said from the beginning, we knew too much because he was putting it out. And I think that's part of the reason that he's in the situation he's in, where she's getting full custody, because she has been silent publicly in this whole ordeal. and I probably preparing herself for this,
But he's a streamer.
But again, like I get you're a streamer, but when your kid is involved and you're trying to get custody of your kid and you know you're in a battle in a relationship, you got to be careful what you put on the internet.
But he's a streamer.
Don't stream your private business.
He's a streamer. That's what you stream for.
Talk about what's going on in the news, your friends. Talk about video games. Talk about music.
When I used to be on an app called Bigo streaming, Rob hated Bigo. He hated it. And it's too ghetto. It is about connecting. I'm thinking about streaming, by the way.
Yeah. Look.
Now.
I didn't hate Bigo. I hated the run it up.
But that's how you get paid.
Give me a dragon.
But that's how you get. It was a lot of that. Give me a dragon. Oh, I got dragon. And me walking around the house with a crown. I was making 50,000 a month.
That was good.
Here's the deal. I get it, but like streaming is about being personal. If I stream, we're doing all the behind the scenes, all the who calls, all the who pops in, all the what ifs, the date. Maybe not the dating. It's all there because that's what people want. You knew who you got with. I don't know that young love, that young fiery love. It's it should never get physical, and it's sad that it did allegedly. But anyway, like Halle, DDG shared an image of the abuse that he alleged against his ex, and he alleges Halle stabbed him in the hand and bruised his arm. Take a look. These are cuts that he said that he got from her and scratches. And anyway. DDG's mom even accuses Halle of causing emotional distress by planning Apple AirTags to track DDG's every move. Now, after filing his own restraining order and seeking to prevent Halle from traveling with their son overseas, DDG has been denied all requests. Because the state don't really care about men.
I don't believe that's true.
The man has cuts on his hand and cuts on his arm saying she did it. He has text messages of all of her behavior that appears to look consistent with somebody who's really emotionally distraught. We don't know what caused it. Something clearly caused it. Why would he not be able to have his son?
I don't. Again, we're just getting the information that's being put in front of us. We don't know what's been put in front of the court. So that's why we don't know. But I don't want to speculate that the court is just not giving him custody because he's a man.
I'm not going to speculate that the court's not doing that. I'm not going to speculate she's wrong. I'm not going to speculate he's beaten her. I'm not going to speculate that she cut him. All I'm going to say is please take us out the group chat.
Yes, I don't want to be in a group chat.
Please, let's just send peace and love. And I want to send more peace and love to both of you. I love both of you. I want you both to be okay. I want the kid to be okay. Chloe's been silent. Thank you, Chloe, for being silent. Yes. I know you're probably helping your sister from behind the scenes because you guys are connected like this. By the way, I know Burner Boy is banging the hell out of Chloe. Burner Boy is tearing that ass up. Chloe is getting that good sex from that man, that big old African man. And so she's somewhere just saying, leave me in peace while he tears me to pieces. Okay, well, look, I'm sending love to all of you. I want this to be over. Hey, Halo. Halo. Ain't that what Beyonce said? Anyway, bye. Speaking of another relationship, Offset and Cardi B. Now, Offset crashes out over Cardi is not a headline that I wrote because Offset will be calling me once this show goes live. I spoke to Offset recently. I will just say as a disclaimer, he called me and we had a very nice conversation. He said he's moved on. I don't know if he's moved on or not because I don't get into Cardi's business like that when we talk. We don't chit chat about Offset. But, he said he's moved on and he wants her to move on. He just doesn't want his kids in the conversation. Well, Cardi B, I'm saying her name like she's not my friend. Cardi B. By the way, congratulations, Cardi. You were just honored at ASCAP during BET weekend, and you looked fabulous. I only saw you for a few minutes. I walked to her room, and she went in the room and went to a meeting with the label and left me out there like a nobody. I'm Jason Lee. I left.
Oh God.
Anyway, I love you. Cardi is out here leveling up with her new boo, Stefon Diggs. Now, Stefon. I like you, Stefon, but you just had a baby and then you allegedly got another baby on the way. So I don't really know the difference unless the sex is fire and you are good looking. Well, anyway, Cardi B is out here leveling up with her new NFL-based Stefon Diggs, and that has her ex-husband just not happy on the internet because he has deleted his socials. I mean, they may be back by this point, but he had taken himself off the internet for a while. Now, just a little history. We know that Cardi and Offset got married in 2017. In 2020, Cardi filed for divorce from Offset. Now, They reconciled and were on and off again until Cardi filed a second time in July of 2024. In October of 2024, Cardi sparked rumors with NFL player Stefon Diggs. However, as Cardi tries to move on with Stefon, things with Offset got a little messier. In February 2025, Cardi and Stefon were spotted together on Valentine's Day, and Cardi said Offset tried to ruin her day, and she said that Offset can go on and fuck anything he wants. But when I start talking to people, he wants to threaten me and taking shit that I worked my ass off for. Now, as Cardi and Stefon has gotten really, serious since last May, Offset's requested spousal support from what the court documents have said in his ongoing divorce battle. And he's also asking for joint custody of their 3 children. He's also fine with the kids staying primarily with Cardi, which is interesting, as Offset has faced claims that he's a deadbeat dad. Now, look, I won't say that he's a deadbeat dad because every time I've seen Offset, he's been very present for not only his kids with Cardi, but his own kids that he has outside of Cardi. But then again, I'm not in the relationship. And then Cardi has defended him in the past and also has accused him of things on the past, saying that there were times that he did not show up. Well, now that the gloves are off for Cardi, she wouldn't care if he got hit by a truck. That's what she said. Listen.
The fact that I'm waking up right now to see that this fuck nigga and his fuck ass team, I know it's not his team. I know it's his bitch ass. Gonna tell the Breakfast Club the only reason why this motherfucker asking for spousal support because I was asking for everything. Because I was asking for everything and because I don't be with my kids. Yo, you such a fucking pussy ass nigga. Word to my mother. I want you to die, but I want you to die fucking slow, nigga. When you die, nigga, I want you to die slow in the bed. And while you die, nigga, you gotta think of me. And when I first filed for divorce, my lawyer filed for shit. And this nigga started spazzing, right? So I told my lawyer in the renewed divorce paper, I didn't ask for no child support because I want to be done with this marriage. Like, I feel like I'm tied up. I asked for no child support. Kiari is allowed to see my kids. There is not one day that he's not allowed to see my kids. Okay? He stood up my kids 3 times. He have seen Blossom only like 5 times. Okay? And I've been trying to save your face. But for you, stop playing saying that I don't be seeing my fucking kids. Stop playing because you don't want to look like a less of a bitch ass nigga. You talk to the kids almost every single day. You call the kids every single day. I allow you to talk to the kids every single day. If I allow you to talk to the kids, why would I not allow you not to see the kids? It was a point that he was making a big deal like, oh, I'm not going to go to New York to see the kids because I'm not going to be seeing my kids in a hotel room. All right. I was like, all right, so you could see him in my mom's house. You still made it a big deal. And I love my daughter so much. Yo, if I'm lying, my kids could die if I'm lying. I said, you know what? To make it easier for you, you could see the kids in my house. Just because I want my daughter to feel the love of her dad. Because I want my kids to have that love of their dad. I want the love of both parents, even if we're not together. Also, the last time we seen the kids was in March on Cody's birthday. Okay? So before you start talking to me about I don't see my kids, let's talk about it. You haven't seen the kids since March. You said you was going to go see the kids after you went, when you did your Dominican Republic trip, you stood them up. You went to do a hosting in Boston and you stood them up. You say you was going to see the kids after Mother's Day and you stood them up. My house is always open for you to see my kids and you still haven't seen them. So why you saying that you're asking for spousal support because I'm trying to take the kids from you? The kids is always open to see you all the time and you know it. You talk to my kids every single day. It's not my fault you don't want to fucking fly to New York. The fuck? You're saying that I'm trying to take everything. What you mean I'm trying to take everything? The cars that you gave me? I gave you cars too. You gave me the Rolls Royce truck. You gave me the Lamb truck. The day that I bought my Maybach, the Maybach was $170,000. And I didn't have the $70,000 that day. I had to get it the next day. So you just put the $70,000. You want those cars so bad, bitch, you could get it. But then you want to talk about the houses. You want to talk about the houses? First of all, my Jersey house, I bought that shit. And you tell me myself, if you buy a house in Jersey, I'm not helping you think because I don't want a house up north. But you know, my dream was always to have a property in New Jersey, in New York. So of course that's gonna be my property. I bought that shit with my sweat and tears. The Atlanta house, you have put me with the bill the last year. The last year you have put me with the bill. Just like you left me the last year, you have left me with the kids' bill. The last year, you have left me For a whole year straight, you have left me with the kids' bill. Y'all want to know what's the kids' bills? Start adding. My kids got their own driver. They pick them up from school, they drop them off, and they take them to gymnastics and to wavy unboxing classes. The kid's driver is on a retainer for $10,000 a month. So that's $10,000 a month just on the driver for my kids. Culture school this year, you didn't pay for it. That's $45,000. Wave school a year is $35,000, which you didn't help me pay for it this year at all.
It's not funny.
Cardi gonna be Cardi.
Cardi is gonna be Cardi, but it's too. You wake up like that. But that's what happens when you just get to a breaking point. And listen, again, I don't like seeing the family feuding, but it's not my relationship. I'm just here to report on the news. Now, amid all the drama with Offset, Cardi and Stefon showed up online together in a real cozy moment courtside. Take a look. Here they are at the Knicks game. There was one photo, I don't know if this is the one, but she had her arm all up under him holding on to. And look, when you step out with your man in public, this is when you know you either want somebody to go and jump off a building or you want the internet to talk, or both. When you saw these pictures circulate, what'd you think?
I was happy for her.
Why?
Because she moved on. Move on.
But when you break up and when you leave your husband, who you've made 3 children with, don't you just take a break for a minute?
No.
Yes.
You only got one life to live.
So
Enjoy
you rebound like that fast?
Yes. If you find love that quick, dive into it.
Well, listen, she's my friend, so I want her to be happy at the end of the day. But I also wanted to see outside Cardi a little bit. You know, I want Cardi to burn the internet down, going on fabulous dates. Clearly, she's not a girlfriend. She wants to be a wife, and this is somebody that she likes, and she's serious about it. Well, Cardi then posted photos and videos of her laid up with Stefon and twerking on him, and she titled the post Chapter 5, Hello, Chapter 6. Look. Okay. Well. Anyway. Cardi's going to be Cardi.
Cardi's going to be Cardi.
Included in her post was a photo of her wrapped up in Stefon's shawl from the Met Gala. Look. Oh, Cardi. Is that trolling?
She's trying to cause a crash out, and I love it.
She also shared the dozens on dozens and dozens of roses that Stefon sent to her. Take a look.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh boy.
See, this I can get with.
Offset used to do that too?
But I'm just saying I can get with.
He used to do that too.
No, I'm saying I can get with the like posting me with the new person, posting the gifts that the new person gave me, posting myself wearing the clothes that the person had on in a different picture. That's fine. But like pulling the kids in, having a conversation about the kid, what you didn't do with my kid, like leave all that out. But this just having fun with your own stuff.
I'm not saying that. Okay, listen. The level of pettiness got to a point to where the son and Stefon had the same hairstyle by the same braider. That's when Offset lost it and said, somebody gonna fuck around and die playing about his kids. I mean, that's why at Hollywood Unlocked, we don't talk about people's children, because that is a thing that people will crash out, and people will crash.
Yeah.
Can't we all just get along? Like, what does it take to make everybody just go their separate ways? Because on one hand, Offset wanted other women and he got it. And on the other hand, she wants a man and she got it.
Yeah. Everybody wins.
But we're not, because we're in it. Like, we're all, like right now we're talking about why.
But see, this, like, again, this I can deal with. And I'm not throwing no shade. The Remy stuff, I don't want to see everybody's text messages. The DDG, I don't want to see y'all text messages. Like, that's too, like you said, take me out of the chat.
I forgot.
This is fine.
I forgot about it. Clarissa Shields and Papoose at the BET Awards approaching me like I was the bad guy. I'm Remy's friend. I'm friendly with Papoose. We never really talked that much, but I was in love with the Black Love. We all were invested in their relationship, like we're invested in this one. I've never spoken bad about Papoose. I've never spoken bad about Clarissa. But y'all are involved in a situation that we all got invited to. It's like inviting us to the potluck and not wanting us to have an opinion about the raisins in the potato salad. Like, it's not a fair thing. I have I've said Offset could come on my show several times. Cardi's been on the show. Remy's been on the show. Papoose and Clarissa are invited on the show. I am Switzerland, baby. I am Switzerland. Offset seemingly, going back to this, Offset seemingly reacted to Cardi and Stefon loving on each other. Take a look at this video. Good rollout in PR. So he's basically saying that this is all just fake. Well, Stefon trolled you right back. This is what he said. Caught. And Offset then started crashing out. As I told you, I'm going to use it here. He crashed out, but this is a thing that, I mean, I can understand it. When Wave was rocking the same hairstyles as Stefon, look, maybe the braider was a coincidence. Before he deactivated his accounts, this is what he said. Look, now when somebody dies for playing with my son, then calls me the crash out. I don't care how I look, trolling with my kid ends bad. Would you agree?
Yes, I say don't involve the kids. That I can agree with. Just the videos of y'all twerking on each other. That's what's with Remy. With her, the pictures of her in the car with her man. All that stuff I love. Post all that, troll that way. But I don't bring kids into it. I don't want to read your text messages because those were private conversations. Like all that kind of stuff, leave it out.
Well, here's what I will say as Cardi's friend, right? I'm staying out of this relationship. I don't call her about her man. We don't talk on the phone about her man. Because I pray that everything works out. Because she is happy, and I want to see my girl happy. And anytime Cardi B is happy, Jason Lee gonna stay out the way. I'll pop in, check on her here, and then I do check in on her. But he had a kid recently. He has another kid on the way. And now you're dating my girl. I'm praying that he understands, Stefon, I am praying that you understand that there's a lot of people that loves Cardi and that wants to see her happy. And we want to see her respected, valued, appreciated, and held up like a queen that she is. I don't want to see her hurt again and going through the same thing because, you know, she has an album that's getting ready to come out. She has a rollout. Her kids are beautiful. Her and Offset's kids are beautiful. And she overcame so much in life that she deserves to be happy. You deserve to be happy, Cardi. So, you know, I'm not going to comment on it too much, but I will say that to leave a situation that you deem toxic, to get in a relationship that right now doesn't seem toxic, but has some toxic accents around it, you know, makes me a little uncomfortable. But nonetheless, I'll be here to be your friend and ride with you through it, okay? And look, fine, rich. That's why you're smiling. All right, anyway, I'm done. Just get to the thoughts and prayers. When Trump regained the White House, us Black Americans had a running joke that all of his shenanigans and attacks simply were not our problem. Well, didn't rally and vote for him, right? Well, as hard as we have tried to ignore this administration's antics and continue living life in this country, the running joke is losing wind. If you really believe that the ICE immigration raids are not a Black issue or not our problem, you're sadly mistaken. These raids are only one page out of a 50-chapter book, and this is bigger than what we're currently seeing. Like Jasmine Crockett said, our brown brothers and sisters are being targeted now, but it will be us who are likely at the top of their list, and we need to come together. But as Trump tries to erase Black and brown people's history, Black excellence was front and center being highlighted at this year's BET Awards. At the end of the day, we got us. We not only celebrated 45 years of Black entertainment television, but we saw 4 Black successful icons receive their flowers. Elsewhere, Diddy continues to lose his petals as his federal sex case shines the light on his dark deeds. But he isn't the only one facing allegations. DDG and Halle Bailey allegedly abused each other, leaving their son Halo in the balance. And while they fight over their custody, another former couple, Cardi and Offset, fight over spousal support. So unfortunate. Divorce can be a mother, but look, the silver lining here is our girl is moving on, living life, and leveling up. Stefon has her enjoying life and being loved on, and we love that for her. Stefon, don't play with my girl. And that's it for this show. Thank God, because it was so long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patient. We have another new show coming back next week. We'll continue to keep you posted on everything that's happening. Look, you might get an extra one in there somewhere, okay? Follow us everywhere that podcast can be watched or streamed, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until then, we're out. Peace.
Jason Lee Podcast.